show is not suitable for children, sensitive men, or insecure women. Can you trust somebody that doesn't take care of their kids?
I don't trust no man on earth that does not take care of their children.
What's the biggest red flag in a relationship?
Low effort and not being honest.
Most of the time, you would think that a bad financial mistake would be spending money on clothes or vacation or like spending money on women. My worst financial mistake was buying a home.
Like a king, give me my crown.
Game time. Game time. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
Yo, do not adjust your TV screen, please. Do not, please. Shawty, what's good?
We back. Yes, sir. Special guest host.
Oh man.
Yeah, this isn't it's not an accident. Ian is feeling under the weather right now. So
yeah,
prayers up to the bro.
Yeah, good job, my boy.
For a speedy recovery. So we had to have a pitch hitter. And a lot of people have been asking for Troy's input on Blackout for a while. So thought it would be a good time to include him in the conversation.
Here I am, man. I appreciate you having me. Ian, get well soon, my brother. In honor of you, I put on I know Ian be rocking like the black jackets. So I figured like, let me go rock a black jacket to honor my brother today. Shawty, I just asked one thing. You keep me safe. You know, like keep me safe. You know what I mean? Like I'm usually in the research. I'm in my laptop. I'm studying. Just keep me safe. I got to make it home to dinner. I got to make it home to my family. Can you keep me safe?
Welcome to the dark side, man.
Oh, damn. All right, I got you. It's been a minute though. Like, it's crazy because we used to do this in the parking lot years ago for hours. And here we are.
That's the fact, man. Welcome to the dark side. Yeah, people don't really get a chance to hear your personal opinions about things. It's more so, you've kept a pretty, conservative outlook on things as far as your parents on Instagram, and you just talk about the investing, your family. You don't really, like I said, welcome to the dark side, me and Ian. That's kind of the world that we be playing in as far as this.
Somebody got to keep us safe, man. Somebody got to protect us at all costs. Yeah, man. I think people think when I say stay low, keep firing, they think it's an investment like slogan, but it's really my life. Like people that really know, like, they see me out in public and it's like, oh my gosh, this guy's so personable. Like in my personal life, it's like super, like I live a public life, but live a personal life at home. So a private life at home. So I try to keep everybody safe, but yeah, man, I'm a pitch hitter today, man. So I'm ready to roll.
We're going to get into it. First and foremost, tomorrow, 6 o'clock, Charlemagne the God episode. Salute to Charlemagne, man. That was a dope conversation. I was looking at some of the clips. We got a lot of content from that episode. So shout out to Charlemagne. Congratulations to everything he got going on. But check that episode out, man. That's a dope episode for anybody that's interested as far as media, content creation, author, if you're interested in a book, entrepreneurship, really working in corporate systems and being an intrapreneur. That's one thing that he talked about as far as, working with the corporate that he already had relationships with to build his empire, not just necessarily going out 100% independent, doing the 50-50 route. So it's a lot of gems, man.
Yeah, I feel like he waited for us for that conversation. Like he hasn't done too many interviews since the Forbes cover. And right away, he was like, that's why y'all are earning your leisure. That's why I came here to have this conversation. So it's definitely one that's going to be full of knowledge. We pulled back some layers. It's actually an extended episode. It's really longer than we usually go, just because there was so much to talk about.
Yeah, not for sure. So that's one of them ones, man. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock. Check it out. All right, man. Let's get into it.
What we got?
Let's talk about, like I said, me and Ian, we have these conversations that's very controversial a lot of different times, but they always say, like, why don't you talk to somebody that's actually married, right? So from a relationship standpoint, because people have been wanting to hear your perspective on a variety of different topics that me and Ian talk about. What is the key to having a successful marriage?
Oh man, I think everybody's key is gonna be different, and that's one of those things. I see people giving advice all the time, and I'm like, every key doesn't open the same door. I think for me, the number one thing is communication. It's something that I've had to learn. Especially like us, we Pisces, so when we get in conversation, we debate and we go back and forth. We always trying to figure out who's gonna win the conversation. And early on in marriage, I realized that you winning means somebody's losing. And if you do that long enough, that person's going to start to feel a resentment toward even having conversation or having dialogue. And so what I learned about communication is that there's one way to listen and there's one way to actively listen. And so some people will say like, oh, you're listening to me, but you're not hearing me. And so I've learned to become an active listener, and that's helped me out tremendously. So communication is important. Transparency is another one. I know I remember when we had the conversation, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna get a joint account. And you were kind of like, yeah? Like, yeah, I'm gonna get a joint account. Obviously, I have my own account and she has her own account, but I wanted to have something that's solidified that we can always look forward to. It's not who's doing this and who's doing that. It's like, yo, we're doing this together. So financial transparency, but emotional transparency, man. I think being vulnerable is something that shows maturity. And I've grown into that. You know, it's not something that we see in our community too much. It's not something that a lot of men talk about, but I feel very comfortable and very confident in that. And that's been some of like the easy keys to success, man. It's I don't say marriage is for everyone. It definitely is for me. And I've watched it, right? Like I feel like between us, like our parents, we've watched 50, 100 plus years of marriage combined between both of us. So we've seen the ups and downs of it. We've seen the goods, and we see what a family unit could look like. And so I was very cognizant of that. And it takes work. I think, you know, every day I get to learn Danielle a little bit more. And I take it a challenge to learn even more about her. Because that's what life is about. We're going to grow. We're going to change. We're going to evolve. But I want to be part of that process with her. And she's been part of that process with me. So, yeah, man, that's some of it. I wonder how you look at it, man, as you've seen this relationship since the beginning, man. How we've been making this thing look.
Well, let's peel back the layers a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, so the finance, that's a big topic. So so you have all of your money in one bank account?
I have a few bank accounts. So I have a few bank accounts. Same kind of the method I did with when I was investing. It was like I got something for options, I got something for long term, and I got something just for ETFs and indexes. And so I got a main account, but I have business accounts inside of that. And then we have a joint account.
So you have your own personal account, and then you have a joint account, right?
Absolutely.
She has a bank account, you have a bank account, and then you have a family account.
Absolutely.
How do you decide what goes into the family account?
Oh, I put money in there every month. So let's just take a raw number, right? And it may sound crazy, but let's say it's $10,000 a month. That money goes in there, and it doesn't matter what happens. That money's going in there. That takes care of the bills. That takes care of kids' needs. That just goes in there. That's been something I've been practicing even prior to getting married. You actually taught me that earlier. It was like, yo, you got to have reserves. And so that method of just having reserves has always been something that's been deep in my nature since my early 20s. And so as I got more money, I just increased the reserves. And so that savings account is something that just money goes into there, and we don't have to look at it. Like if she needs to pull from there, she pulls from there. If she needs to pull money from another account, because we have a business account together as well. If she needs to pull from there, it actually is not even an issue. The crazy part is that she's super conservative when it comes to money. I think that's something that I take it for granted, but I'm truly grateful for it. Like she won't pull from the account. Like there've been times, and she's gonna kill me for saying this, but she'll be like, yo, I got $4 in my account. I'm like, yo, why you got $4 in your account? Like there's no need for this. And she was like, I don't know. Like I didn't want to take money. I'm like, I love that about her, because that she's super conservative, but I asked him like, yo, you don't have to do that. And she's just like, yo, it's just this mentality that she's growing up with. Like, yo, make it, that dollar stretch, right? You got to be conservative with your money. You got to be careful what you spend in. So even as we've accumulated more wealth, she still has that mentality.
Yeah, you said also about you can't win an argument because that's one thing is when you learn in debates, like nobody really wins a debate because even if you win, you embarrass the other person. So
that's it though. But you use the word embarrass. I didn't even say that. I just said lose. But the way you do it, and I've learned this about myself, and probably we got this in common, right? Like, because we go back and forth and nobody ever wins. We just kind of like, all right, the conversation's over. But like in a partnership, like in a marriage, like the way I argue with you, I can't have that type of tone with a female. Like I can't have that with my wife. I got to realize like how I'm coming across. And I think a lot of times people don't do that, right? Like it's that retrospective, like, you know what? All right, if I win, at what cost? And why do I need to win, right? Let me just see the perspective, because maybe I could be wrong. A lot of times I'm like, yo, I could have done that better, right? And there's times I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'm standing on ground on this. Like, I'm firm on this. I believe in this. But actually hearing it and having like that introspective moment to say like, yo, you don't need to win this. Like, listen to this person's perspective, because at the end of the day, I take that Jane line, like we're not supposed to sleep with our backs turned, right? Like, we're not supposed to do that. Like, who wants to go to sleep with that? Because we're just going to wake up with the same issue. So, yeah, man, and being transparent and having that maturity to say, you know what, let me hear what you got to say, right or wrong, and let's figure this out.
So you got married before,
All this shit.
a high level of success and wealth and things of that nature. If you were to get married today, would you do things differently? Like, would you be more paranoid? Would you demand a prenup? Would you, like, it's one thing to get married when at the beginning of your career.
Yeah.
It's nothing to get married when you've already worked 20 years and you've reached a certain level of success and you got a lot more to lose.
It's tricky, man. I watch my peers, and I so often wonder, like, yo, damn, man, like, this shit is crazy out here. Would I do anything differently with my wife now? I don't think so, because she's been here before all this, right? Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
yeah.
I'm talking about not
If I was today trying to get married, what you asking?
yes.
Oh yeah. If it was her, I don't think I'd do anything differently. And the circumstances were the same. Like, I had known her, right? Like, we grew, and then we got married during the Earn Your Leisure Success. I don't think I'd do anything. If I meet her during the Earn Your Leisure Success, man, that's a good question. I probably still wouldn't, bro. Just the character of the person. Because I would have met her at a different stage of life, and she would have matured and had life experiences. I don't know if I do anything different specifically if it's her. If it's somebody else, yeah, man, things are gonna look different. I'm watching some of these stories, and I'm watching some of these relationships that a lot of my peers have, and I'm just like, yo, this shit is crazy, right? Like, even having encounters with females, it's like, yo, there's a lot going on, but where's the substance? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always say that to you. Like, it's tough for me to have conversations a lot of times, because number one, I don't want anything from anyone, right? And I think a lot of times it can get misconstrued. Like, if you talk to the opposite sex, oh, he wants something from me, or, oh, I need to get something from him. And I'm like, nah, I'm just trying to pass time. And if you can, stimulate my mind with the educational conversation, that'd be great. But other than that, I'm good. And I've seen it over and over. It's like 10 minutes into like a casual conversation, it's like, all right, this is going to go left. In fact, this is not even worth entertaining any further. So it's tough out here, man. I feel for my brothers. I feel and for females too. I feel for females. It's not easy to date. It's not easy to find someone that's your companion. It's not easy to find a life partner. It takes work, and the work is getting harder, man, because we grew up in a generation where, like, a lot of the girls, we grew up around, watch their mothers, especially, my wife is Jamaican. So you watch their culture. You watch how your mother treats your dad. You watch how they take care of their dad, or they take care of their family. It's a different environment. And then that just gets, matured, and that just grows into how they're going to treat, their future mate. So I'm pretty lucky, man. I'll be honest. I'm really lucky.
How important is it for a significant other not to be overly bearing and question somebody that they're with, if they with somebody that's in business?
It's important. I think it comes with trust, though. And that's something that's developed over time. I think, having that level of security in what, your significant other is doing is vitally important. I always say, like, this doesn't happen without, the trust of my partner. I imagine if she said, yo, I don't feel comfortable with y'all recording in the dining room. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do we do? And the fact that she's involved in it makes it a lot easier, because she understands the tugs and the pulls and the gives and takes that have to go on inside of the business. And so, I would encourage everybody to support. I know there's a lot of times like, yo, he tried this thing and it didn't work, or he's trying something again and it's not working. Yo, hey, you gotta stay with him. You gotta figure it. Like, if you riding with him, you gotta stay with him, because you gotta believe in his vision wholeheartedly. And I'm living proof of that, right? Like we've tried a couple of businesses, right? Like it didn't work. And she never looked and said, yo, Troy, stop trying. She was like, yo, I support it. Even to the point I'll tell the story about when I invested. And I was like, yo, babe, I'm going for it. She's the first person I told. We were staying in LA in July 2020. And I forget, it was me and you sat down at the table. It was like 6:30 in the morning. I told her right before I came downstairs that I'm going for it. She was like, what? I'm like, I'm putting 100,000 in the market today. And she looked at me like, okay. Like no questions asked, not like, yo, that's a lot of money. Yo, you sure you want to do that? It was like, okay. And after I had made the move, I was like, yo, why you ain't have no feedback? She was like, yo, I watch how you work. I trust what you're going to do. Like, I know if you're doing it, it's going to happen. Every time you say you're going to reach a goal, you reach it. And so that level of trust, that level of support, it builds confidence, right? Like it feels like, yo, I don't care what anybody says. She believes in it. And like her life is going to be impacted by it the most. Let's go. Let's rock.
Okay.
Man.
That was a very wholesome segment.
Man, chat going to be like, I love them so much.
That was a very wholesome segment. You know, blackout is the dirty hour. It's dirty hour, man. It's dirty hour. You know, it's one of these things.
Yeah. I mean, I live a clean life, man. I don't even steal cable. I remember that line.
All right, let's talk about this. Let's switch topics. Let's talk about something that is another topic that I'll be interested.
No. Let me throw it back to you now. Hold on. Let me throw it back to you. Like watching marriage, right, this close to you. Do you feel like has there been any pressure watching that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, hey, your friend is married. Like, is there any pressure that goes on around that?
Pressure? What you mean pressure?
In terms of your life over the past 10, 15 years.
No pressure. I've always, you know, looked at it as far as like everybody's situation is different. Run your own race. You can't compare your situation with somebody else's situation. So I never really, you know, kind of compared my situation, my life with anybody else's life, or like trying to like, you know, you use people as a certain level of inspiration, motivation on a certain level, but
yeah.
No pressure at all. For me, I'm running my own race. I'm running my race. It's marathon.
Oh, man. I got year 15 this year, man. So we'll probably do something. But 20, God bless, and Lord willing, I make it to 20. We're probably gonna do it over. We're gonna do this thing over.
Congratulations.
You was there. Yo, you was there.
It's a fact. I was. Let's talk about okay, another topic that's been I'll be interested to get your perspective on it because we talked about it a few times on Blackout. But so Shabuzi won. What did he win? Best new artist?
Nah. He won for a collab that he did. He was new artist last year. Olivia Dean won best new artist this year.
He won a Grammy. Long story short.
Yeah.
He won a Grammy, and you know, it's the times that we're in right now, it's immigration is the number one topic. ICE, everything. So he gave a he mentioned that immigrants literally built America. And then also that kind of is the same almost word for word quote that Mayor Mondani had said on his inauguration speech. So it got some backlash from people that thought that it was kind of misguided and insensitive. So Bernice King, Martin Luther King's daughter. So she actually responded. She said, "It's Black History Month. I have to ask, are people, including enslaved Africans, descendants of those enslaved, and Black people whose unjust low-wage labor sustained the economy in the 1800s and 1900s as immigrants when they say immigrants built this country? Because chattel slavery was for the express purpose of building empire. But our ancestors weren't folks who came here seeking a better life.
Yeah.
They arrived in chains, were bred like cattle, and severely violated sexually and otherwise. Their trauma shouldn't be diminished or forgotten in efforts towards freedom from ICE humanity violent tactics. We can only get justice for all when truth is taught, embraced, and spoken. So, yeah, I don't think that he meant it the wrong way, but I think that it is a common theme, and I think that it's a little insensitive. But I want to hear your opinion on it because you are the children of immigrants. Your parents came from Jamaica, so you're first generation American. So, what is your thoughts on that statement?
I'll take your line in it, man. I think language is very important because they are two different things, right? Slavery and immigration are completely two different things. But if you tie them in, it feels like, oh, that's an overwhelming statement. But I think I side with what Bernice King is saying here, right? Like the transatlantic slave trade was something that was forced. People were mutilated, castrated, raped, pillaged. Very different from immigration, right? Like that's not my parents' story, right? Like that's not a lot of people who come from the Caribbean. That, I mean, to a certain extent, it's not the same story as the people who landed in the southern part of what is now the United States. And if you say it in that way, then it's not, number one, it's misleading, but it also points to that point of trying to erase the truth about history. And we've seen that overwhelming theme. So to hear it from Mondani, and I don't think Shabuzi meant any ill will by it. I don't think he meant any malice by it, but you hear it over and over, you start to repeat the same things. And if we do that without correction, then that's how history will be told. So it's very important to have these conversations. And I think it's very important that we have a direct distinction between those two things, because yes, slavery, right? Slaves built this country. Immigrants helped build it as well. Two different things, right? Two different meanings, two different time periods. But the distinction needs to be clear.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that the brother meant good what he said, but I think it was ill-informed. And I think he just needs a better education because when you look at the system of slavery, 350 years, the country is celebrating its 250-year anniversary. So the institution of slavery actually is longer in America than the actual formation of this country. So when you look at Black Americans, whether they came through slavery, whether they was already here, regardless of the fact, I don't think there's any denying that America's financial backbone was built on free labor for hundreds of years. So literally, that's what built the country. Immigrants did not build the country, but they did contribute to the country, right? And those are two different things. And it's important because when you just lump everything in, then you discard founding members, and that's something that can be extremely insensitive. For instance, if we're doing a real estate development in Ghana, we have to have certain level of reverence and respect for Ghanaian citizens.
100%.
We can't come to Ghana and just say like, okay, we are, the foundation block of Ghana. That would be disrespectful to the Ghanaians that actually fought for their freedom and fought against the British Empire, going back to Kwame Nkrumah and even before him, hundreds of years before, going through colonization. The same would be with Shibushi's country of Nigeria. We can't go to Lagos and just plant our flag. Like, we can contribute to Africa, and that's what we're doing. But I think that by saying that, it's kind of dangerous because it disrespects and it disregards a legacy. That's why we have Black History Month. If you really think about it, mass immigration just started in the early 1900s. Even if you look at Ellis Island and stuff like that, like when we talking about even before civil rights movement, when we talking about the foundations of people that actually, fought for the foundation of this country in the Civil War and before that, and so much has been done to just lump everything in and say immigrants built the country. I think that that's a very ill-informed take, and it's something that can be considered very disrespectful. So I think that it's important to kind of have that level of understanding. Yeah. In any country that you go, you should have an understanding of the country that you come into, right? Because you don't want to be disrespectful to natives that have been here for a very long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, by definition, the word is to enter a new country, to settle there permanently, or to come live permanently in a new country where you were not born. So, by definition, right, if you call descendants of transatlantic slave, right, you leave out the part where they were taken from their homeland, where they were pillaged to a new land and forced, right? Like that technically doesn't fit the definition of an immigrant. So saying immigrants built the country, misinformed, I think would be the kindest words we could say.
But even the word immigrant means that you're coming to a country. So if you're in a country before the country even exists, you're a foundational pillar. You're not even no matter what the circumstances are, even if you were not forced to come here, even if you were here already, you still wouldn't be an immigrant because you'll be a founding member. You'll be a founding member.
You're a native.
You're a native, of course. You're a native. So very, very important. And like I said, that's something that I think we can just, kind of have that dialogue, because it's happened a few times at a very high level. Like I said, Mondani said it, and now Shabuzi said it. So it's a reoccurring theme, but it's not historically accurate. Immigrants did not build this country, but they did contribute to this country. But if we want to make progress, we have to have a full understanding of history.
Yeah, I think we get to reshape narrative. I think that's the most important thing about having a platform and having a voice, is that you can see a narrative, you can see how it's being painted, and you say, all right, well, you know what? No, we got to reshape this, right? Like there's some context missing here, and I think it's important to fill in those blanks.
When you were growing up, did you ever think about, like, was that ever a thing for you? Did you ever think, okay, Jamaicans are one thing, Black Americans are one thing? Like, how did you, was that something that you thought about?
Nah, I never thought about that. Like I felt like I was always surrounded by Jamaican people, like being born in the Bronx and then growing up around like my cousins and being with my dad's friends. Everybody was Jamaican. And so we kind of just was like, all right, well, there's no difference between any of us that are here. So we listen to the same music. We watch the same shows. We kind of, obviously we got the patois thing going, but when I was in school, it was like, all right, well, they're not Jamaican. All right, cool. He Black, we Black. All right. We all kind of felt the same, to be honest with you. I never thought about it in the sense where, like, you know what? I'm first generation. I didn't realize that till like maybe like in middle school. Like I'm like, wait, my parents are not from here, which means, oh wait, me and my brothers are American. We're the first of this lineage of our family. So yeah, it wasn't till later on.
Okay.
Yeah, we honorary Jamaican. So we yeah.
Big up to all the rosters out there.
Oh, they use
Shaka Bars, Rastafari.
Rastafari stands alone.
Rastafari stand alone.
Yeah,
You know that.
yeah.
You know that. Okay, let's talk about Epstein. Dan Pena. Let's go.
Who?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Never heard of him.
Dan Pena had an interesting thing. A lot of people have been linking Bitcoin with Epstein because of the in the files. One of the few things that came out was that he allegedly knew the founders of Bitcoin, or he said he met the founders, or he's involved in the founding party. So this clip came out a while ago, but now it's resurfacing based off of this information. So let's show this clip.
If you knew who was really behind Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you fucking could to sell it. I know. 100%. If you knew who owned Bitcoin or who started Bitcoin, you had Bitcoin, you couldn't sleep at night. I know. 100%. And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, it is my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about me, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
One day.
And a microsecond.
Okay, so in that clip, he talks about how if you knew who founded Bitcoin, you wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And when the truth comes out about who did found Bitcoin, it's going to drop to zero. So now everybody has been linking that with Jeffrey Epstein, and it's right around the time that Bitcoin has been falling drastically. So now you have some people that are saying, okay, well, Bitcoin's going to zero. Bitcoin was found by Jeffrey Epstein, or he had some level of involvement in it. And it, so my thing is this: nobody wants to be linked to something that could potentially have like, let's say it was started for the purposes of child sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good thing to do. But people act like Bitcoin wasn't the underworld to begin with. Like, that's how it's really started. The scammers and the criminals knew about Bitcoin before the regular citizens did, because Silk Road, all of these, that was the whole thing. Drug dealers, terrorists,
arms dealers,
smugglers. I mean, so that was they were in on it before, because you couldn't track it.
Yeah, it was. I remember when I first heard about it, it was a way to not be caught from using funds, right? It was like, at the time, certain things were like, even like music at the time was just beginning in that streaming phase. And it was like, yo, how can I get it still for free without being detected? Or how could, like, right around the time where the people were talking about how do we have VPNs, then you start to hear like, yo, criminals are using it to exchange to buy arms. And that's how they're getting weapons, and it's not being traced. So like, it has a dark history in that sense, right? Like, does it mean that it's not a valuable asset? No, but it has a past. So like, hearing this guy talk about it, and it's interested in these tastes, I'm just like, how dark is this thing?
It's dark, but what is not dark? The American economy was built, like we just talked about, slave labor building the American economy.
So Wall Street, right?
Wall Street, every aspect of it, as far as the agricultural system. I mean, you talk about global imperialism, you talking about, sabotaging governments, you talk about child labor to this day, mm-hmm. in Congo and different places of the world to fund the green revolution. So, I mean, I feel like if you peel back the layers on pretty much anything inside this capitalistic world that we live in, you're going to see some dark components to it that actually are foundational principles, are still actually making it up right now to this day currently. But it's interesting to Bitcoin has always been a mystery, because nobody knows who started it.
He gave some names though, right? Like there were some names that were mentioned of people. It was like five core people, which I'm sure they know who those 5 core people are. But what kind of pressure do you think those people, those 5 names that they named? I know Vladimir was, Vladimir with a W, Corey and Gavin were some of the names that were mentioned. They didn't put last names in the email, but what kind of surveillance, what type of pressure do you think those guys live under, knowing that though they started this out of thin air and here we are? Well, not even, I shouldn't say thin air, it makes it sound too simple. A very complicated system that they created that now is being traded publicly in the American economy.
If I would have to put a bet on it, I would say that Bitcoin was started by a government agency. I don't know which government agency. That's up to you to decide. There's only
all alleged.
There's only a few that could potentially pull something like this off, but you don't start the biggest thing in the history of the world and disrupt the total financial system by just being a mad scientist in Japan. I think that this was done with people that have very high level security clearance in the world's approval, and it really came out right around the time of the financial collapse, where it really kind of took off.
Right.
You need new systems in place. Mm-hmm. We had gold. We have gold. We had the monetary system as we know it. Moving into the digital age, you need a third option. You need a digital currency, a decentralized, quote unquote.
See how that worked out.
System. So I think that I don't think that this was done by just some college kids in a dorm room or Satoshi Nakamoto.
Are we debunking that? Does Satoshi not exist? Like, are we now firmly believing, like, you know what, this Satoshi character, this is Kaja Sose in the flesh?
Anything is possible. He could potentially, Dennis Rodman said that he met Satoshi back in '99.
So in
Seattle.
Scottie
Pippen, yeah. So anything is possible. But if I had to put money on it, That doesn't mean that I'm right, because I don't know. But if I had to put a guess on it, I would guess that this was done at a high level in a boardroom. It was not done in a college dorm room. That would be my suggestion. So the real question is, how did Jeffrey Epstein
That's the part.
have access to everything in the world? Somebody that I think he was like a junior college drop, like he didn't have any. He's the real enigma, because he's somebody that came out of nowhere and not only had highest levels of government. I mean, you're talking about royal families across the world, across all royal families in Europe, Middle East. You're talking about having access to presidents directly. You're talking about having access to.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. What do all these people that he's connected to have in common? Power, right? And powerful people like to take advantage of other people, right? And a certain level of them, there's a certain level of treachery and evil that comes with that. And they know some of the things that they like to partake in. And if he's the guy, and we've seen it from, like you said, the British royal family, we've seen it from our politicians here, we've seen it from our leaders in business here, right? From some of the 3 million emails that keep getting redacted and put into the world. There's a common theme of people in power abusing their power at some level. Like, that is the overall theme. And so he particularly was probably the guy that was like orchestrating, like, oh, power, here, I know what their weakness is. Here's their weakness. Here's their weakness. Oh, they have this weakness. Let's exploit that. How can I use that to my advantage to get some of that power?
Well, who put him up to it? Once again, you think that he was doing something? I don't think he was doing that by himself.
What we always say when we see situations like this is a learned behavior, right?
No. I'm talking about Jeffrey Epstein was collecting information on the world's most powerful people to hold it over their head in the future.
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody doesn't do that just on their own recognizance. Who
recognizance?
Who sent him? Because he was sent. He's
really. If Ian was here, he would say, "Shai, don't get us in trouble here, please."
Everybody has a boss.
That's why. So learn behavior again, right? Who taught him how to do that? Who put him in position to do that?
So, I mean, you look at Elon Musk, right?
By the way, 800 billion.
The wealthiest person in the world, begging to actually come to his parties. You got Bill Gates, you got Donald Trump, you got Bill Clinton, you got David Stern, you got
all right. Let's do this then, right? Let's do this. Again, all powerful people. We've been to the epicenter of some of the most powerful places on the planet, right? We were in Davos, right? Did we notice a common theme amongst those powerful people? They all got a weakness, man.
Well, everybody has some level of vice. But as far as sexual deviance is concerned, yes. But that also goes back to access. Most people are going to be easy to corrupt on a certain level. It's not too difficult. And the easiest way to corrupt men most of the time is through women. Mm-hmm. That's easy.
Now we talking.
So it's not surprising, but it's also a thing, like these secret societies and all this is really real. We don't have to go down this whole rabbit hole, but skull and crossbones, you can do your research if you're interested in it. But the holding sexual ritual over somebody's head didn't start with Jeffrey Epstein. No. And having people express in a certain level of like sexual embarrassment to actually be welcomed in a society has not started with Jeffrey Epstein either. These are practices that have been actually perfected from different societies and different very powerful organizations for a very long period of time. So it's not a conspiracy theory. When you see like these things of like, okay, like there's different rituals that happen and there's different sexual deviates and different things. It's not just a random freak off. this is a well-organized machine, which is ironic because Diddy's in jail for sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
But he got convicted for what he got convicted for was paying for a prostitute. In all honesty, that's what he got convicted for, right? He didn't get convicted for
moving them across.
Right. He didn't get convicted for running sex parties.
No.
He got convicted for holding people hostage. He didn't get convicted for child sex trafficking. He didn't get convicted for running a sex ring. He got convicted for just being a freak. These people are running organized international sex rings with minors and a variety of other weird shit. And there's nobody that's getting held accountable for this.
Well, they tried to hold him accountable. He never even got convicted. He never even got a chance to be convicted.
And now they saying he got wheelchaired out his cell the night before he unalived himself, allegedly.
Allegedly, right? You figure the camera stopped working allegedly at the same exact time where he allegedly unalived himself. A lot of crazy stuff going on. He made out to be the fall guy. I mean, perhaps it appears that way, but the interesting part is that the documentation that they have and has been presented, and I feel like they've had these documents for a number of years now. We slowly get them out. They slowly get redacted. Then they realize they forgot to take somebody's name out. It's like it's the botched job of the century. But is it surprising? Are we surprised by any of the things that we're hearing?
No, it's not surprising. Only if you truly, believe in the systems and different things of that nature. But no, it's not surprising. But
it's unfortunate. And there are victims. I don't want to make it seem like there are victims of this. And I know a couple of victims' names were released. And yeah, now they have to relive these dark times. But it isn't surprising, right? Like, we've been around people in power. We know that women is an easy vice. We know that a lot of men in power, this has happened. I mean, this is not a new thing. But then there goes that weakness again. If they can exploit that and use that against them, I wonder if he ever held these guys at blackmail. Like, I got that tape, right?
But that was, they said, the whole point. And they even have some theories is that he made the girls wear watches, which was taping them. So that was the point of doing this. But that's what I'm saying. Who sent him? We don't know. Is he still alive? Potentially.
In Cuba, right? Who knows? I don't know. I don't pretend to know.
That's the reason Dame smacked Harvey Weinstein. So
another one of them guys.
Couples been dragged into this. And that was a line from Cameron. Cameron said that. He said, that's the reason Dame smacked Harvey Weinstein on a set of Paid in Full. Y'all gave him hell about it. Allegedly, Harvey Weinstein was the producer of Paid in Full. People don't know that. And I guess they was having some back and forth issues, whatever. And Dame was like, he was talking crazy to some girl, and Dame smacked him. Allegedly, he assaulted Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. I mean, he's facing his own charges, right?
How do you feel about hip hop getting dragged into this? They brought Jay-Z's name in. They brought Pusha T's name in. Charlamagne spoke about it on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I think Charlamagne did a pretty solid job of unpacking that a little bit. Sometimes when people hear a name, they'll sensationalize it, right? We'll forget that there's political leaders. We'll forget that there's an actual president that's part of this. And we'll look for the person that looks like us whose name gets mentioned, right? It's like when they did with Chris Tucker, who was on a plane. Like, yo, Chris Tucker, what? And now it's Jay-Z and Pusha T. And it's like, huh? And when you peel it back, it's like one of these things. And if you're looking for tips, you can submit an anonymous name, or you could make an anonymous report. So allegedly, that's how Jay's name came up in it the first time. And then there was another email that we potentially could have. So I'm not sure if we're going to go that far, but his name came up. But it had nothing to do with him being involved directly with Epstein or being directly involved in the theatrics of the debauchery that were going on. His name just kind of got brought up. And the Pusha T thing was just like, huh? Like, what? How do we tie those in?
Yeah.
The sensationalism around that. When we saw Jay's name, it became a headline. I saw this chatter, and like every time I'll go on Instagram, there comes to a point where I'm like, I gotta leave. do we over sensationalize it because it's Jay and we want to see him fall, or do we just block out all the rest of the noise and like, all right, you know what? I knew they had to be something, right? There's just certain price you got to pay when you get to this level. What's your thoughts around that?
Of course, nothing gives some people in our community more satisfaction than seeing their own fall. We eat our own, like cannibals on a certain level. So yeah, I mean, they were just people can't wait for the day. That's what Big said. Pray and pray on my downfall.
No,
people that literally do nothing all day except for, go down rabbit holes to try to find out how you can destroy somebody that's successful. Jay, who knows? I don't think that he's involved in the situation, because what came out, a 1996 report that he was with Harvey Weinstein. I just said Harvey Weinstein paid in full. He was involved in a lot of people. And then, so my thing is this. It's a distraction to me, because like you redacted probably 80% of the files. And the world, we know for a fact, the world's most powerful people and the richest people in the world are in the files. And some names came out, some names didn't come out. Redacted so much, it doesn't even make sense to even put it out. But you didn't redact Jay-Z, and you didn't redact Pusha T, because you know exactly what's going to happen. You're going to put it out, and unfortunately, especially our culture, they're going to run with the shit. They're going to make a mockery of it. They're going to go down 8 different think pieces, and now they're going to become private investigators. It's the magic trick. You do magic. The key for a magic trick is not necessarily hiding something. It's just making people focus on something else.
Right.
So something in your right hand, make them focus on your left hand. Right. So by focusing on your left hand, you don't even realize what's in the right hand. That's the same thing that they did. Why are you putting out Jay-Z, Pusha T of all people? No disrespect. Well, you putting out Pusha T, Jay-Z, Eminem, a bunch of other random. Before they put out Michael Jackson, he was in a photo with his own children. It's a distraction to make people focus on one hand, and the real people that's really running this whole shit, nothing's gonna happen. They're gonna walk right away. And they know that Black people, for the most part, love to be cannibals and eat our own kind. It's something that we developed going back since slavery. Nothing gives us more satisfaction than watching someone that we have some level of proximity to fall and embarrass himself. And we saw that with Diddy.
Yo, I'm telling you, bro, like the level of forensic scientists that we display when it comes to something that like this is alarming, because I'm like, why we can't do this when it comes to things that actually matter, right? It was like I first started noticing it, like we always know like how we get when it's a topic that is going to bring somebody down. But even like during the Kendrick and Drake thing, like the level of forensic scientists that people were like breaking down lines. I'm like, yo, damn, imagine if they actually studied like the market and they did that, right? Or yo, during Diddy's trial, like we're listening intently to every testimony and we're breaking it down and we're having feedback. Yo, imagine if they did that on an IPO, right? Like, or even this, like, oh, there's 3 million files. Let's comb through it to see if we know a name that's in the world of hip. Oh, we found one. Let's run with that. And then we have media outlets running with that. And we're not going to even talk about the girl from Queens who just is having, we just going, I don't know what she's on. But like, if we channel that energy into a different medium, yo, we out of here, man. Like, we really out of here. But we can't.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you right here. Like, I used to tell you, like, yo, bro, we got hope, man. It's not over. And you used to be like, yo, it's not gonna happen. Everybody not gonna make it. Like for years, how many years you been saying that? Yo, everybody not gonna make it. I'm like, nah, bro, we gotta fight for everybody to make it. I'm slowly leaning into the dark side. Like, yo, bro, I just don't think people even actually want to make it. I think they're just content and wallowing in this shit.
My philosophy on a lot of religious texts is that these stories are oligarchical. What's the word? Oligarch. The allegorical.
Like the oligarchs?
No. It's a word. It's a word that meaning for it. Like it's a deeper meaning for it.
I got you. I'm usually on the other side of this guy.
So, Noah's Ark. Do I believe that a flood took over the whole entire world and one person built the ship and they put 2 animals on the ship? I don't believe that. But I feel like the story is not meant to be taken on surface face level. It's like we can't save everybody. The believers, the people that actually are focused, like there's only going to be a small, it's like the Marines, a few good men. It's only a few people that's really meant to be saved. Everybody's not meant to be saved. And that's just everybody, you're going to get washed away in a flood. Like I said, like, I don't think that story was necessarily like a real flood, just flooded the whole entire earth. But there's a lot of different floods. There's floods of ignorance. There's floods of not being able to focus your attention long enough to better your situation, right? Like you're going to get caught up in a tidal wave. And so many people, the people who's drowning right now, breathing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't even, that's the worst part. Like what they say, like killing while you're breathing, now you're saying something. Like people is actually in the flooded, they flooded right now and they don't even realize it. Like you reading 1 million pages of the Epstein file and you can't pay your bill.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Yeah.
So
well, and the distraction again takes you away from the people who actually have full-fledged guilt. But what it also does is give them time to figure out how to run away from it. Right? You just give these people more time and more time to figure this out. Oh, we got to redact it. Oh, we're going to let this file out. Let's comb through it and see what we can give to the public. We'll give this part to the public. It's like, it's all staged. It's all staged.
look, man.
Stay focused.
Get on the ark. Get on the ark. Everybody can't get on the ark. No, if you really read the context, he warned his family. He warned people. A lot of people thought he was crazy. Some people took heed. Most people did. They laughed at him. They mocked him. Variety of different things. Said, okay. He tried. He didn't. The ark still went up. It's not like the arcs did not go up. The arc still went up. If you only thing you can do is give people fair warning. Give people fair warning. Allow them to make a decision. The vast majority of the people are not going to make smart decisions. They're not going to get on the ark. They're not going to save themselves. They're going to drown. Yeah. And like I said, that's a story that just comes to mind because I feel like that story is not really understood enough. Like it's a metaphorical story, in my opinion, and it's relevant to right now, today. Like right now, today, like we in the time of like floods like happening. Like people are really drowning in just ignorance and just wasting their whole entire life. And there's been a call to awaken people, but the vast majority of people are still not interested in the call.
They don't want it. And I don't want that to get confused with Igbo Noah from Ghana. Shout out to him, but hold your head.
He's in big. He try to build the.
He try, like, you know what I mean? He try to let him know, but like he just did it in a different way, man. Hold your head, bro.
Yeah. Let's show this clip from Fabulous saying that is a bigger commitment than marriage.
Yeah, let's do that.
Having a baby is a stronger commitment because you're at least locked in by a child for, at least 18 years. Right. And then even further, once they become an adult, that's still your child. I think marriage is a commitment, but between the two people committed, they could break it off at any time. Right. And they don't have to be together anymore, dissociate, anything. They could just go two separate ways. But with a baby, it's a little bit harder to do that.
Because a baby needs to be nurtured, needs to be taken care of. You heard, like a marriage is two grown people. So like Sid says, right, you could go about your way, but a baby actually needs you. Like a baby can't survive without you as far as being a parent and shit like that. So the commitment of raising somebody for 18 years is way deeper than. I mean, wouldn't say way deeper, but I would think it was a way much more commitment to raising a child than it is to being in a marriage.
That kid is yours forever, guaranteed.
And not to say like that, because now people are going to be like, but the marriage is most important and all that.
No, it's a commitment. It is. But at any point, that commitment could break. Even people have kids and marriages break apart. And they still, you know what I mean? But that's still their kid.
The kid has to be raised, whether it's the mother or the father, they still have to raise that kid. Even.
Okay. Fabulous Rap About It podcast.
That was an interesting take.
in some regards, he's not completely wrong in what he's saying, because I feel like a marriage, you can get married, get divorced, and never speak to the person ever again.
Fact.
You have a kid with somebody, even if you break up a relationship, it's a bond at least for 20 years, probably longer than that, where you got to have some level of communication. So in some regards, what he's saying is actually true. Now, from a moral standpoint, religious standpoint, variety of different things, you're supposed to get married first and then have a baby. And marriage is more important than having a baby, for sure. But I'm not going to completely throw this out the way, because I think I understand what he meant by that statement.
Yeah, bro. The crazy part is that I understood it wholeheartedly, because I think he's talking about modern day. Like, if he looks around his environment, if we look around our environment, bro, I could probably count on my hand the people that have been married. I know plenty of people who have children, right? And so I've seen people get married and get divorced, and like you said, they don't communicate with each other anymore. That relationship no longer exists. If there's no children involved, the relationship doesn't exist. In fact, to the point where they may get married again multiple times, right? That could happen a few times. When a kid's involved, that's forever. That really is forever, right? And so I understood it, because I'm like, yeah, he's speaking for the modern day time and how we look at marriage, right? Like, we've said this, right? And Shaq can probably agree. We've probably been to more baby showers than weddings, right? Modern time. Like, I remember going to a baby shower. My dad was like, "Where you going? Men don't go to baby showers." Like, what you know what I'm saying? It's just the times have changed. And so I understood what he's like. I'm glad you brought the context into, like, from a biblical standpoint. But when he said it, I'm like, I get what he's talking about, because he's talking about in the modern day. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Well, I could still understand the pushback on people saying that's part of the problem, and that people would take a baby shower more serious than a wedding, or people would, plan. Some people even plan to have a kid before they even plan to have a wedding.
Yo, some of these baby showers cost the same as the wedding. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, we're not going to get this again. Right? We don't look at marriage the same way, right? You can look at the statistics, you get the rates of it. Marriage is not viewed the same way. That's why I said earlier, like, I'm very lucky, very fortunate. My situation, my story is very different. I actually enjoy it. Most people are like, do I have to do it? I actually love doing it.
Love what? Marriage?
I love marriage. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, get to wake up to my best friend every day, get to discuss ideas, get to figure out how we're going to build life together, how we're going to raise our kids, how we're going to build our business, how we're going to leave a legacy. Like, doing that on a daily basis, that challenge of it, figuring out like, yo, something's off with her. Like you said, Cap, something's off with her. Reading her emotions and saying like, all right, what triggered that? How can we fix that? Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Do you think, how do you keep, like, do you think that being with one person for the rest of your life can have some level of boredom?
Yo, I know you say that a lot, man.
I'm just asking.
No. I'm because I'm here for every episode, so I hear you say like you're gonna get bored. I honestly, boredom has never hit me.
No, I didn't say I was going to get bored. I'm just saying that I could understand.
You can understand, right.
Listen to a conversation. It's real. We talk about Jeffrey Epstein. There's a reason why all this is happening, right? Because they want some level of excitement. They want some level. All these people are married. Everybody knows Jeffrey Epstein. Everybody in most people in Jeffrey Epstein's island was married.
Yeah.
Right. But they want some level of excitement. They want some level of fantasy. They want some level of to break up the monotony. And a lot of people, even I watched this Donald Sterling show. And
watch that joint?
Yeah. It's like he's with his wife, and it's just like,
yeah.
When it's just like a business deal, like, all right, I'm with you. Like, nah, I ain't really, like 50 years in, it's like, what the hell? Like, what the fuck? But it's not, because his side chick, he wasn't even having sex with his side chick.
And that's the crazy part.
But like, a lot of people cheat out of a lot of men sometimes don't even cheat just for sex. They cheat for emotional stimulation, support, conversation. There's a lot of aspects to that outside of sex.
That's important. It's not always a sexual thing. Sometimes like people will say like you emotionally were unavailable or you weren't here, right? So like you found that in somewhere else. Like there's other things besides just being a physical connection. I haven't, thank God, and prayerfully, I haven't gotten to that point. I don't think I will. Because it's more, like you said, there's more to it than just the physical. Like there's the emotional part, there's the spiritual part. There's the connection that we have as friends first, right? I think that's important. I think that gets overlooked. Like we built the foundation first, obviously had children, but our union, I feel like, and during the pandemic was one of those times where like people were like, yo, I can't stand this. And we used to wake up looking at each other like, yo, that's crazy. Like, I'm actually enjoying this because we move so much that I'm like, yo, I get to sit down and like now build with you on a day to day. Right. Like I really get to really learn you, like really get to figure out how you want to be loved, how I want to be loved, how we gonna move forward together. Come on, man. Why you getting come on, man. All right.
All right. Well, we got our guests. We got our guests in the building. Let's bring our guests up if we can.
Yo.
What's up, my brother?
Fred, what's up? How y'all feel?
Cat, what's good, baby?
Good, man. Just chilling. Sitting out on my porch.
Oh man, look great out there. We are filled with snow outside, so we are tabbing to us.
Wait, where y'all at?
We in New York.
Oh, okay, nice.
You in LA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have to tell us. Where the sun's shining, I know.
I heard the weather in LA has been beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's hard to leave LA, man. It's hard to leave my front porch, put it that way.
Amen to that.
Cutino Mobley, what's up, my brother?
Man, I'm just living life, trying to stay out the way. Nobody want to know from me.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad we got this convo, man. You know, you've been somebody that's been tapped in early, actually. And I know we spoke a few times, but I'm glad we got a chance to actually, you know, have you on and have some conversation. So thank you for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me.
So I want to start, you know, we're sports fans, so I want to have a sports conversation if we can.
Sure.
Where you're at right now, LA, since you know, what I noticed is that the level of disrespect that LeBron has received is pretty historic. When you really think about it, right? From Dylan Brooks saying he's the most overrated player in the league, the dude in Cleveland saying that it's Donovan Mitchell's city now. And I don't know. I just feel like this is Michael Jordan. When he was at the tail end of his career playing with the Washington Wizards, they had so much reverence for Michael Jordan, or even Kobe's last season. I feel like it's just, why are people so disrespectful to somebody that's in the tail end of his career and has only done great things in the league?
Asking for a friend.
You know what's weird? This happened. Well, you got to think about how the history of the league and Magic and Bird and Michael, they kind of made it mainstream. So I can't make anyone on their villains just yet. I have to have people fall in love with the story. So Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, East versus West, white boy, black guy, this, that. Then Michael flies in the air. So it was marketing more, entertainment, so to speak. And then now that they got you hooked and they got good versus evil kind of thing in whatever city you're from, I believe that now, kind of like reality show Kardashianists and all the housewives and all this other stuff, they like drama. So I think advertisers said, scratch their head, said, it's an entertainment. Drama sells better than just the good old keeping everything cool. So when you go on these talk shows, as far as the sports ones, I can bash. Oh, that's more ratings? Okay, cool. Bash. Oh, that's more ratings? Okay, cool. Because if everybody say all good stuff, it's boring to the entertainment world. That's just my thing. And I think that started kind of like late 2000s, right? So you didn't hear it about Mike or Charles or Robin kind of thing where it was like everybody's a villain, right? Someone's always saying something negative about only 5,000 of us that ever played this game, right? Like, and then another thing too is like you go to any park, there's no other sport in the world where everyone thinks even when they just know basketball, that they can play to the level that we played at. There's no other sport like that. No baseball, no tennis, no nothing. Everything is, man, I get B5 or 10 on him. Are you kidding me? This guy's trash. You know what I mean? And you're looking like, yo, come on, dog. That's how it works. You know what I mean? Like, guys are pretty good over here.
Okay, are we in a scary time for the NBA? Because I look at the ratings and they're saying, like, yes, you know, Christmas was an all-time high and the ratings are up. I'm a fan, a diehard fan. You see, I'm in my Bulls Derrick Rose retirement jacket tonight. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't tell you where the games are, right? Like, they're streaming everywhere all over the place, which makes it tough. The other part of it is that, and we got to be careful with LeBron because he's a megastar in this space. Curry's a megastar. I put Durant right on that level. But if we're not careful, we won't be able to have another megastar. Who's the next megastar that they can build that story around?
A great question. I would say who's my favorite, who can be the mega star, is Anthony Edwards. His character, the way he play, he's a dog. All of that is just like phenomenal to me.
What about Wemby?
I don't know if he's a megastar because see, Wemby. Listen, I love Wemby, and please, I don't want him to no one to take this out of context. He's kind of like he's very French. It's very like snooty kind of thing. So it's like he's moody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like he's a moody individual. Now I love him, right? The guy is on point, especially at such a young age. But Anthony Edwards has a lot more character at the moment to be that, right? Because you know he's from the hood and he can joke, but he'll come back at you. And it's just a little something different. Now I would say Wemby, yeah, but I haven't seen his personality. We've seen Anthony Edwards every phase of him.
I think the interesting part with Ant, because I would agree with you with Ant, it's just that we live in a world of social media, so it's not just the on-the-court things. Like, the marketing is great, but then we got the off-the-court things. I feel like when the league thought Zion was going to be that guy, now we hear the off-the-court things. When Ja was supposed to be the guy, then we see the off-the-court things. It becomes a little tricky, right? To say, like, here, go support. This is going to be the face of the league. That's the whole face.
Right. So now think about it. Mike, Charles, Dennis, everybody. This was no social media. So they couldn't gauge it of what the fans wanted to see more of. Drama, cleanness, this, that. And then the league is just starting. So I can't put all your business out there in the streets because we need the fans. Now it's NBA is solidified. So I can, because of social media, I can put that out there if I really want to, because the polls are showing that drama sells. So Anthony Edwards with the baby mamas, or this person with this, and this person with that. And, oh yeah, but he's still playing hard. It's like, it's a lot of fluff. So, I mean, I think that's why they promote it like that, because that's what the world want to see more. As much as they don't want to see it, they want to see drama. They want to see noise. They want to see reality show type of stuff also at the same time. But, you know, me personally, between Wemby and Anthony Edwards, I would pick Anthony Edwards because he's maturing slowly, but he's still that mega star.
So you was a hell of a player in your day, and you came up like, traditionally, right? Like as far as high school, college, NBA, we're seeing a change in that happen now, where NIL has really changed the dynamic. Where, like Rick Pitino said, he's no longer recruiting high school players.
Yeah,
and you got kids that's 25 years old, playing in college, and some kids in college are making more money than professional athletes.
I couldn't have did it. 20 years old, bro. I'm getting 6, 7 figures. I'm out of control. You out of your mind?
You're gonna be the mayor. You're gonna be the governor of Rhode Island.
Why am I, man? Listen, you hear me? I'm telling you right now. I have boats, all types of stuff in Rhode Island.
But do you think that it's ruining? Do you think that it's ruining basketball?
I don't. Let me tell you why I don't, fam. Is because this transition happened in the 80s with NBA players. Okay. There was guys that were drinking still at halftime or smoking cigarettes and, maybe doing drugs, whatever it is. And that's every sport. That wasn't just no basketball. But my point is, it was new money and it was new environment. It was new situations. So it's going to be an ugly little situation that's going on for these college guys, getting that bulk of money in their families and everything like that. I think it's a blessing, the silver lining behind it. Kind of like the Trump thing, right? The silver lining behind it is someone has to sacrifice for us to see what we should not do. You understand? So as bad as it may look, it's not going to stop NIL deals. It's not going to stop kids getting paid now. It's already started. So now the kids in the future will say, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to get an IRA. I'm going to do this. I'm going to live off of $2,000 a month. They're going to see it. The Russell Westbrooks of the world, the Chris Pauls, the Carmelo Anthonys, the LeBron James, you see it become, it's not just Michael and Larry Bird and, Isaiah Thomas and, Magic Johnson. It's a whole bunch of guys that are businessmen now. So it's going to be ugly for a second until it gets to that point where guys a lot more, money is money, and let's figure out how we can make it last.
That money is different now, Cat. Money is definitely different. I want to talk about the marketing of the game, because when I brought up Megastar and you said Ant Edwards and Wemby, I thought about one of my favorite players right now, Jaylen Brown, right? Just recently named Eastern Conference Player of the Month. And I'm thinking to myself, he had he went live on his chat the other night, and he's talking about marketing and not being marketing. And if you don't abide by the rules, how they can try to debunk your fame, right? The reason that, he thought he should have been Player of the Month last month. He thought he should have been on the Olympic team, especially coming off the finals MVP. Talk about the other side of the NBA when you don't go against the grain, and they're saying to yourself, all right, well, he's standing out, let's shun him.
I love Jaylen. Me and him was together in Asia this summer. It's my guy. I think he's one of the best players in the league, if not top three also as far as two-way, right? Because he's going to guard you and he's going to give you 30. When you are as smart and boisterous as Jaylen, it goes against how they want to, I guess, perceive us as men, right? So I got to be careful of how I explain it. It's just, Jaylen's character is something that they're like, oh, I don't know. If you give him too much, he might, calls this or calls that. I don't, I love him. I think he's super brilliant, right? He's a good person. But he is also, too, is for the individuals that are out there, they can't put a read on them, right? So when you can't put a read on somebody, you can't control them, you can't do this, it scares you, right? It's like, you've been around women where it's like, she's like, I can't read you. And you're like, well, I'm cool. What you need to read? Like, you keep it super simple and short, and they get scared. They walk away from it, or they get super intrigued, and they try, it's like that with Jaylen and on the outside, right? So, I'm getting my own sneaker, and I can build a computer if I want to. I can go to Mars. I can do all those things. Like, wait, we just want you to just dribble the ball. Why are you doing all this extra stuff? You're igniting too many other individuals. And I think that's what it is with Jaylen. Sometimes when you're too smart, it takes away from, because listen, Michael was smart as hell. He's smart as hell, right? Jordan, and then Kobe. I mean, one of my closest friends. They're growing up, But again, sometimes when you're too smart, or I don't know, it's a tough thing for Jaylen, being so smart. You know what I mean? Because it's like the art of war. I don't even know who I'm going to fight because I can't see them. They can come disguised like you two, like me, like this person, like that person, my flaws, you know what I mean? My weaknesses. I don't know. So it's a very tough thing for Jay to be in a position, but also too is a blessing at the same time.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on, like, for a long time, basketball was a way for people like to come out of tough situations. Like, you think of like LeBron, right? Like, and then becoming, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. But we're starting to see that change, Allen Iverson and stuff like that. But we're starting to see that. I think that might be over now because from a European standpoint, the Europeans are coming in. But then also from an economic standpoint, it's becoming basketball was always a sport that anybody can play. Now it's becoming a barrier of entry based off of your economic situation because you need a personal trainer. You need to play AAU. So now we see all of these NBA players, their sons are playing. Like Gilbert Arenas' son, he just had 29 points, right? And I don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, they have good genes, obviously, but they're also afforded luxuries that other people are not afforded. They're afforded personal trainers. They're afforded, weight room access. They're afforded a variety of different things. So basketball is becoming a rich sport. It's like becoming like polo, like almost like you got to have money to participate in these things. Are the days of the kid on the south side of Chicago or in the Bronx and a feel good story, is that over?
That's a great question. My son, right? He's a freshman. He's one of the top freshmen. It's very tricky, right? Because it's not as much as it is over as it's evolved to a point where even the kids that are in the hood or whatever it is, their hunger for it isn't like the hunger was when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they can bump into a kid that's not even pro material, but he's a buzz in that city. And if they're playing with that kid on the playground, this, that, whatever, they think they're just as good. So they're striving their work ethic. The competitive nature is not there like it was back in the day, right? Because now you can see kids that are in high school playing on ESPN. That was never a thing when we were younger, ever. Right? Until LeBron in there, maybe 06, 07, you started seeing more, high school games on national TV. So I said that to say, everybody thinks they're equal. Understand? So now
there's no feeling of like, oh, I'm better than you because I'm more hungrier than you, or like it's like there's no suburbs, inner city. It's the same. It's the same thing.
Right, for sure.
The other part of that is, and this is interesting, we spoke to some coaches, and it goes back to that why they're not recruiting high school kids anymore, is that because they have the trainer and because they have the skills coach and because they have the nutritionist, they forget how to actually just play basketball. Right?
Yeah, because see, basketball is instinctual, right? You got to know this, right? And growing up.
This isn't a cone drill.
Yeah, you're a cone kid. Right, my son, he started playing 4 years ago. He far exceeded everybody else that was playing way before him. Because what I did was I went to the park on Sundays early morning and I let him rock out. Then I put him in the men's league with me when he was in 7th grade, right? So he getting his butt kicked. He crying. I don't want to see them tears. Get out of here with all that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing stuff like that. And then he became better faster, right? On top of me doing fundamental drills and footwork drills, at hour. And then we go let them do play and then go back another hour later on. And it was just the same move or the same 2 or 3 moves all day long. And then I let him go have fun on the basketball court, playing with the old heads and playing in the men's league and things like that. And he became a lot more confident. Now, the crazy thing is not even coaches, bro. How I see the game of being an NBA scout, being a player, situational basketball, like y'all in finance, things are situational to become great at something. You have to understand situations, and a lot of these kids don't understand situations like they should in real time. Right? So when I was younger, you can understand situations because your critical thinking kicked on quicker. So it was like, my mom's not picking me up. I got to catch the bus. I got to walk this. I got to do this. And when I'm on the court, there's 3 other teams, so we can't lose. It was like that sense of urgency, right? So now I got to figure out within this puzzle how to solve it before the end of this. A lot of them don't have that now. So coaches are saying, you know what? I just need the kid that's already smart. I can't keep doing this because it's portals, it's guys with money, it's just that whatever. I need the smartest kid. Now, NBA kids, their dad's making them watch film. Their dad's, doing this. Their dad's doing that. So I'm going to go DNA, and I know this kid can catch on quickly because even when he leaves me, he's going back to his pop to get some work, right? So in finance, your kids, you guys, I don't know if you have kids or not, but when they start getting older, even when they come home from school, they're going to learn finance. Right? So it's not I'm only going to school and then for the weekend, I know nothing about nothing. And then Monday comes back again and the teacher hits me with something. then I'm like, oh man, I don't know what this is, but I ain't got no pop like that. That's one of the reasons why they pick, because it's just hard to be. Kids don't stay long. Kids are not loyal, and it's not even the kid's fault. But it's just as hard to teach and really grow with the child.
Sorry, I got to do a follow-up really quick, because I'm wondering, like, obviously it's a mixture of both, and that hunger has to be there, right? Like, our love for the game is different. Is that something you had to teach, or did your son just naturally have, like, he wanted it?
Okay, so my son was boxing, football, basketball, but basketball was last, right? So he was soccer, right? So he came to me 11 going on 12. We had a little contract thingy from Los Angeles Football Club, and they have an academy. So he's going to go inside the academy. And what happened was, he was like, I don't want to play this no more. This was like September, October. And I'm like, wait, what? You're like 11. He's like, I want to play basketball. I love basketball. I'm like, come on, dog. You don't even play this sport, dog. What are you doing? And I'm loving soccer. I'm loving how it's moving, right? Then I'm looking at them paydays like, damn, dog, you know, you about to get $1 billion. You can get $1 billion from them, $1 billion.
Shipping them to
So I'm looking at that. And he was cold at it too. And then he loved it so much, basketball. I'm hard workouts, and he kept coming back. He kept coming back. So then I would penny pinch, right? Whereas like we watch film for 5 minutes. Then when I see that his attention span was 5, I'd move it to 10, then 15, then 20. And now he looks for himself. He looks at, what do they call when the team is coming from out of timeout, right? What's their baseline out of bounds play? What is sideline out of bounds play? When the last, 10 seconds of the game, what is this guy, the best player, doing? Is he doing with his left hand or right hand to pull up? He's watching that now, and he's only a freshman in high school. So he'll be able to see the game, just like y'all in business, right? He'll be able to see the game. Oh, they just took 1 point some billion. Oh, in 30 minutes? Okay, and this. Oh, and gold and silver is that? Oh, okay, I see it coming. So you can predict it. So that's all kind of what that is, if that answers some of the question.
From a finance standpoint, you play in the league. What was your experience? Because we always hear the horror stories of athletes that they played in the league and they made a bunch of mistakes. Now I feel like that's starting to change. A lot of athletes are investing. But what was your experience as far as becoming a millionaire, having access, becoming famous, traveling? Like, what was that like from a financial standpoint for you?
Yeah, so it's weird because my stepfather made good money. He was a street dude, right? And he owned different stores. So back in the day where you have like the hood lottery, that's what we were. You know what I'm saying? Like that was our family. So we didn't really want for money as much. So he was very generous with the family and friends around. You know what I mean? Oh, here's some money, here's some money, here's some money. So I grew up like that. And then it bites you in the butt, right? Later on in your career, because what you did was you taught people how to treat you now. So I learned later on when I was fighting for custody of my children that I don't have it, you know what I'm saying, to give. I want to be able to live a really good life. So, for a minute, you piss some people off and some things happen, but I think it's your upbringing, right? A lot of your upbringing. And I seen that my stepfather was very generous with everybody and everybody was happy, but they were only happy because you give them money. And I didn't know that at a young age. I thought they were happy because, he's such a good dude. And he was a really good dude. But, now then taking psychology communications in college, like, was he doing that so he can people please because he didn't receive that when he was younger? I have no clue, right? But now that I get older, and a lot of guys, it's like me, here's my car. Like me, here's my money. Like me, here's my jewelry. Like me, right? So we have this low self-esteem sense of worth, and it shows when you start having money what you do with it, right? Because you want people to like you. Right, like even business guys, like think about the cats that go on Wall Street. Like, all right, they're not wearing jewelry and things like that, but they might got a Porsche, they might pay for this, and they might do this for people to accept and like them. Right. So now when you get out, my thing is when I tell younger cats, is like figure out who you are faster than possible. Right. It's just like when you play basketball. Figure out what your weaknesses are fast and work on them. right? Because you could be a butthole with no money, and then you could be a butthole with a whole bunch of money. It's still a butthole. It doesn't matter, right? So let's figure out how I become better as an individual. And then, you know, for me, it's like I didn't need things later on in life I got, because when I'm fighting for custody, there's no one to help me. I make too much money. Who's going to give me $1 million, $500,000? I put myself in a situation. I got to take myself out of it. So I think for me, just being humble and kind of modest about, like, yeah, you don't have to have a fancy car, man. Life is good, son. I'm relaxing. Got a nice house, you know. I'm sitting around hummingbirds, and I don't want no problems, man. I don't want to show you I got a whole bunch. I don't need them.
Man, we saw the 30th anniversary rolling, man. We saw it.
No,
I know what I see it, man.
No, it's a 5980. It's a 50.
Talk about the transition, man, because some people, like, if you grew up late 70s, 80s, like, and you made it to the league, like watching you guys in high school and obviously in college, like baller's life, that was a real thing. But like, I feel like your career has been the epitome of baller's life, from Philly to Rhode Island, obviously your years in Houston with franchise, going overseas. Then I'm watching you play in the Big Three. Like, what's the transition like, saying like, all right, I'm going to stop playing. I'm going to move to this aspect of life going forward.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that transition wasn't hard, but it wasn't easy either, right? It was kind of like in between. I never played overseas, but when my son was born, my youngest son was born, I had a chance to go play in China for a whole bunch of money. So I said to myself at that time, I was like, you know, my oldest son was 9 years old, and that's when I couldn't play in the NBA no more. I said, is it worth it, right, to lose the time from your 9-year-old and you're about to be second born? So I chose to be around my boys. Best thing for me, right? Yeah. Do you lose money? No, but I gain a relationship that I would have to pay to get back. And so either way, you're still paying, right? So I rather lose the money than lose the time relationship with my boys. So, you know, that's just what that is for me.
What do you like? What's your outlook now? As far as I know, you're still involved in basketball commentating. Is it something that you always want to be involved in the game in some capacity? Do you have aspirations to coach, you know, business? Like, what's your outlook moving forward?
Yeah, so I'm a life coach right now. So I mean, CutinoMobley.com. You go on. I want people to be great. I want people to be amazing. I want people to, whatever it is you want in life, I want you to seek it, find it, you know, and then you can see if you want it or not, right? If that's who you are or not, right? Because we all have our different levels that during this journey. But for me, you know, I consult, you know, for the league. I coach my son. My daughter's playing volleyball. I'm falling in love with volleyball now, helping her. But you know, majority of my thing is I speak publicly, and I do life coaching. So I think that's, for me, that's what makes me get up every single day to journal, to love life, to do everything. So I try my best to stay out the way, stay positive. Always been a positive person. So, you know, just helping everybody else get out of the rut that they're in at that moment.
Well, to follow up on that, if I can, the life coaching thing, what aspects do you carry over from sports to teach people? Because, like, for me, instance, I used to play basketball, and I feel like a lot of stuff that I learned in basketball, I still carry over, as far as like being punctual, learning how to, you know, work in a team. Even nutrition, you learn nutrition at a young age. You learn about physical fitness at a young age, and those habits continued with me. And I realized that most CEOs work out, most CEOs eat healthy. Like, you just don't become successful by just doing anything, right? You have a level of discipline. So, like, what have you carried over from your professional career that you're actually teaching people in a life coaching space?
Well, all of that you said, right? So that's more surface, right? Which is the most important thing. But then what I would do is for them is it's just focusing on being patient with yourself, right? Through this process, because it's very unforgiving, right? Like, you think about it, Steph Curry's the best shooter ever, and he's still only shooting 40%. It means he misses 6, right? So, in understanding that, you in business, right? You're going to, every VC, right? They invest in 10, maybe 1 hit, right? So it's it's that type of world. And now we're trying to toughen up that skin to understand that the love is the process until you get to the money. The love is the process until you get to the trophy. That's the memorable part, right? That's the part that you're like, wow, I did it, right? So focusing on being more patient with yourself is what I would do. Now, all the other stuff I give them, but now I have to ask them too, is a lot of things. It's like, what exactly do you want? And are you ready to, do anything to get it? That's one of those things, right? So if you're ready, okay, well, we got to train like this, or we got to study these books, or we have to do this. And then I help them kind of map out exactly where they want to go so they don't get lost, right? Because a lot of people in life, they have this map of life and it's actually not theirs. It's someone else's map to their end. So if they create their own map, then they know what the end is. So now they start to really understand, if they're very self-aware, that it's going to be bumps in this road, it's going to be hills, it's going to be valleys, it's going to be all those things. But I'm still going to get there because I want to go there, right? Not because of someone else's. So it's like, I always tell people, sometimes cheating off another person's test, ain't the right thing all the time. But I'm just saying it's not the right thing, because a lot of people are cheating off their other people's life, opposed to what's your life, right? Finding who you are fast. And that's a lot to do with silence, a lot of walking, a lot of journaling. And then when you start to understand that and you start to see things repeat within that journal or your everyday actions, that's when you start to now go, okay, this is what I need to do, X, Y, and Z. It's the same thing in basketball, right? Like, you'll know when you start watching film, it's like, oh, damn, my left hand is weak, or my right hand is weak, or my catch and shoot. Just go back in your film and start understanding that, and then be patient with yourself on the process, right? Because even if, like, think about Kobe lost in 08 and then won in 9-10, right? Or Bron and them, they lost in 11, won in 12-13. You still have to perform the next game. You still have to perform the next day. I still got to wake up tomorrow, God willing, and try my best. It's just what it is. So, and now if I understand that I still have to repeat this, why am I fighting it? Right? I love it so much. I've never worked. Right? I mean, that's what people don't realize. Like, all right, boom, boom, I got the trophy. Okay, well, now do you want to sit or do you want to keep playing? Because if you want to keep playing, it's going to be another fight. Right? That's why I love LeBron James so much, because I don't care what nobody say. You go to the finals 9 straight years or what, that's just crazy to me. I don't understand that. That don't even make sense. I don't care how many you won. That don't make sense. Right? Oh, these guys weren't as tough. It don't make sense. Right? Tom Brady, out of 20 years, you were there 9 times. Come on, dog. That don't even make sense. You know what kind of mental, come on, man. They like Warren Buffett when it comes to business. What are we doing? This makes it, truthfully, guys, right? That don't make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense that every single year you can be able to do that. And see, people see what you're doing. They don't see the back office part, the 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, the lifting, the eating the right thing, going to sleep at a certain time, the getting up extra shots. When I'm tired, I get off the plane, I still got to get an IV and still go work out. Like, they don't see that. They just see you on the court for 2 hours. Now, imagine doing that for 12 years straight. There is no summertime. There's no vacation. People don't understand how hard that is to be great. That's why LeBrons and the Kobe's and the Michaels, that's Magics and Birds. Come on, man. It's too much. The discipline is there. The discipline, there is no such thing as motivation with them. It's discipline.
Yeah, we get complacent with their consistency, but it's something that should be admired for sure. When you were talking about being a life coach, it made me think about the new generation that's in the league, the younger guys that are coming into it now, obviously coming into it with money. How receptive, or are you around them enough? I know you said you speak to Jalen. How receptive are they to what you're telling them about life outside of basketball, but how to handle themselves as men in the world, having abundance of money, especially the guys that are coming out, or even in college that are making $2-3 million? That's a lot of money, right? At 20 years old, like you said, like we're out of control. How receptive is the younger generation when you're talking to them?
No, very receptive, man. surprisingly, a lot of them seen me play, whether it's Big Three or then they look at film, and then, you know, KG and Paul or whoever it is that have podcasts usually shout me out of myself or Steve Francis and how we were dynamic during our time. So they'll see that, and I think that that's a part of my foot in the door for them to respect what I'm saying, and then still being able to play at an older age. But, you know, a lot of them, once you kind of go into their world, opposed to you being the point the finger, you should do this kind of thing, I kind of sit back and watch. If I like the kid, I sit back and watch them first, just to see exactly how can I approach them without them saying, come on, OG, come on, get out of here. That shit ain't working on kind of thing. Because it's possible, right? You know, my one kid, you know, the kid was already great before I got him, but Brandon McCoy Jr., he's an amazing kid, you know, and I sat back and watched him first before we built our relationship. And his father, you know, Brandon McCoy Sr. is my guy. You know, we became family, you know, and training him and working him out. You know, he didn't have to listen to me. He was already a top kid. It wasn't, I didn't make him a top kid. But just understanding him and going into his house, opposed to him coming into my house like, I'm Cutino Mobley and I'm this and that's not how it works. You know, you gotta, and kind of like when my kids were younger, you know, I guess the child psychologist would say, you know, you gotta get down to their level and, you know, kind of don't scare them by going up, you know, standing tall or whatever it is. I learned that when the teenagers, because I want to know their music, I don't like it, but I want to know their music, I want to know this, how they dress, and then we can joke with each other. I can have some type of dialogue with them where I'm not out of pocket or I'm not, you know, 1,000 years, you know, late or something. So it's just understanding them more I think helps me. And then I have a 15-year-old son too, so. You know, that ain't cool, that ain't hip, or that ain't this. So it helps me a lot more and just understanding them, man. It's not about me, it's about them. So I gotta, you know, kind of go into their house. They don't come into mine.
Okay, man. Thank you for joining us, man. Tell the people where to follow you and anything else that you want to, you know, leave the audience with.
Yes, sir. So yeah, on Instagram it's Cutino's Life, Cuttinoslife. I have little shorts on there just talking about life. And as a life coach, it's CutinoMobley.com. Come look me up. If I can help you, I would love to. And just, you know, everybody out there, man, just do your best. I love you guys. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man.
Appreciate you. Yo, Cat, is your son beating you one-on-one yet?
Come on, I don't play them games. Listen, fam, I swear to God, I do not play them. I don't play them games. I don't play them. This ain't no Jesus Shuttleworth shit.
All right, there you go.
Play them. That's the Cat Mobley I know right there. All right. Yeah, I don't even play them games, dog. I'm going to the post. I'm not playing them games. I'm not doing it. And I'm limited. And yo, my nigga, I'm limiting dribbles.
Oh, three dribbles?
You're not there. You damn sure ain't beat me with 3. You ain't gonna be all this old 1v1 shit. Them niggas get 19 dribbles. No way. I'm not chasing you around. I'm too old. No. I'm too old. And we'll foul the shit out you. I'll chop the goddamn hand off.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, man. All right, my brother.
We appreciate you.
Be good, man.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready for that day, man? When your son can beat you?
I mean, I'm still physically fit enough to put high levels. So we play all the time. He probably beat me a few times, but you play somebody 100 times. We played 100 games, so you win a couple of games, but I've won 98% of the game. So
okay, yeah, that's a moment. I was playing Madden. I'm a top 100 player, by the way. If anybody wants smoke, let me know. But Christian beat me, and like. They actually had like a party upstairs, like Danielle and Jordan. They were like, "Oh, you finally beat him." I was like, "Damn, never again, never again. That never happens again. Never happens again."
Yeah.
That's crazy. When he's talking, I'm just thinking about him and Steve Francis and Moochie Norris and how they used to go crazy in Houston. And then Yao came, and it was like a whole thing. Cat was tough, bro.
Yeah, that was a legendary left hand, right?
Yeah, left-handed, tough buckets. And he's like he looked like a small guard, but he was posting dudes up for real.
Yeah, I remember in the Rhode Island.
Yeah, he was tough.
Was Lamar Odom on that team?
I'm trying to think back if they were playing together. I know he was up there. Let me check really quick.
Hello, yeah, he went to Rhode Island.
Yeah, he went there, and then Zach Marbury went after that.
Yeah, Zach Marbury. Zach. Rhode Island, yeah, Rhode Island had some good teams. They had.
Yeah, he was there. He was there with him.
Yeah, that was the thing. That was the whole thing.
94 to 98. I think L. Odom got there in 97.
Because Lamar Odom nobody knew what he was going to do. He was like a Lenny Cook almost. Like Lamar Odom was one of these street ball legends in New York City at 17 years old. And then he kind of I think he dropped out of high school for a minute. It was just a legend around Lamar Odom. Then he just pops up in Rhode Island.
Yeah. Is that the greatest team, that Riverside team?
What, Lamar Odom and Elton Brand?
Lamar Odom, Elton Brand, Eric Barkley, Glover, who went to St. John's, Ron Artest. Like, come on, bro. Ron Artest, Elton Brand, and Lamar Odom on the same team.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in high school. Like I said, Lamar Odom, he didn't really fully fulfill his potential in the league. I mean, he was a great player in the NBA for sure, but
yeah,
how he was supposed to be
the guy,
one of the greatest players ever. Like that was the buzz that he had coming out of New York. Like Lamar, he was the original, could do everything. 6'11", could shoot, dribble. Yeah. That's why Kobe liked him so much. Like, he was a very versatile player. I don't know if he just had that inner drive or that killer instinct, but as far as, he was early as far as being that tall and being able to really play like a guard, really.
Yeah, that time. So that's the thing. Like, we don't even. I mean, I know we got some All-Americans here now, but like at that time, Tim Thomas, Al Harrington, Lamar Odom, they were all these like big like guards that you couldn't do anything with. Man, that was a different time. That was a different time. Shout out to all those guys.
Yeah, shout out to all the shout out to EB, Brett. It's the family #1 draft pick coming out of Peekskill High School. Legendary.
914.
Legendary.
914 for real.
That was a great team, man, for sure. Ron Artest, he was another one that was up.
Manchild. Dude's name was Manchild.
Hey, Ron Artest, LaSalle Academy, coming out of Queensbridge. All
right, fine. All right.
Yeah, no, that was New York City. I'm from New York City, was on top of the basketball. But shout out to Stepanek High School. In our backyard, they got 3 McDonald's All-Americans. I'm not sure if that's ever been done before.
On the same team? I don't think.
Might be a
first. You never know. Like Mount Vernon might have did it with Kate Cunningham's team. I think they did. I think they had Scotty Barnes, Kate Cunningham, and the kid that's at Golden State. I think he was an All-American too. I mean, Oak Hill probably could have done it before. You never know.
3 is tough.
That's tough.
That's tough.
That's right there. That's right down the street. That's crazy.
3 is tough. So yeah, salute to them.
Yo, can we do one more topic?
What's that?
I think the world needs to hear this because we've had these conversations before. Is it impossible to have a platonic relationship with the opposite sex?
Okay.
Do we show the clip?
Yeah,
Let's do that.
Do you have any platonic relationships in your life right now? With a woman? Yeah. No. Is that by choice? I'm not about to be around no woman platonically. Listen. We gotta unpack this, Cam. Why? Because I'm not about to play them type of games. Is it self-control? Call it what you want. I'm asking. Call it. It may be self-control. I'm asking. If she fine, I'm not about to have her around playing like I don't think that she's attractive. Is it possible to think someone's attractive and still behave yourself? Yes. Do you have control of them thoughts? Yes. But I'm not about to play them games. What game is it? The game of saying, hey, we not about to be friends. I don't have good-looking women that's friends around me. So no. Just all the. Do you have any ugly ones? I gotta ask. I don't even have women friends, bro. Respectfully. Why? I understand you saying you're not finna play this game, but Cam, you're a smart man. I'm gonna need you to go deeper than that. Yeah, we're gonna I know me. You know you, okay? I know me. And what that mean? That means if I'm around a woman long enough, I'm going to find something good in her that attracts me. Okay, and when you're attractive, what then happens? When you're attracted, what then happens? Sex. Oh, God damn, Cam. Cam, this is the bigger issue than I thought we had here. understanding that I know what's to come from a platonic situation, I don't even play. No, I don't do that. Baby, you too fine for me. We not doing that.
Interesting.
No.
So, okay. If I take the word friendship off of the table, do you have platonic relationships in your life that involve women?
I just told you, I don't have no attractive woman that I'm cool with that I do not have plans on.
Damn, Cam. This is my camera? Listen, my fellow listeners. Self-control is very important.
No. We're not going to do that.
What?
Self-control is identifying, I know me.
Now, it's very healthy for you to be saying this.
We're not going to do that.
I'm not saying it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Salute to Cam. Cam, he just going viral.
Yo, Cam went crazy.
Is it impossible? It depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you look at it. If you look at it from a standpoint of, depends on how you look at it. It's slippery slope. Slippery slope. I'll say that much. What do you say? What do you think?
I think so.
It's impossible.
I think it is possible. I think it is possible to have a platonic relationship with the opposite sex, because I've done it. Now I know the argument is at some point, someone's feelings, whether you know it or not, will change or get involved, and that might be true. But that doesn't mean it still can't stay platonic. It's easier to cross the line.
What's the relationship? Because I feel like I have friends that are women, but the word friend has different levels to it. Okay. I don't have any friend that's a woman that I talk to every single day. I don't have any friend that I'm like confiding my deepest secrets in. Like, yeah, you have friends that are women. You might talk to them once a month or, 2 times a month or, occasionally, or, you go to dinner, you might meet somebody and, it's just the vibe, like, but you're not, a friend is somebody that you talk to every single day, somebody that you text every single day, somebody that, like, I don't feel that men and women should be friends on that level, because it unless it's something that is, it's not gonna go there. But if I don't think that that's conducive to healthy relationship, to have somebody that you communicate with every single day. That's a female, or a male if you're a female.
Because the line will get crossed at some point.
Well, it's not 100% chance, but there's a probability.
High probability. Every day that's at this stage, that's a high probability. Every day you communicating.
I mean, if you're a friend, like that's why I said, there's different levels of friends.
I feel you.
The word friend covers so many different things. I have friends that I haven't spoke to in a year and a half. They're still my friend.
Yeah.
But I have not spoken to them in 18 months.
Right. So the frequency of how close the relationship is, and
best friend, let's just say that I never understood the
male
having a woman as a best friend is something I never understood.
Okay.
I never understood
that's
that.
Good.
And that's something I know people that have women as best friends. I personally never understood that aspect of it.
Yeah, that's tough. Because at some point, if that's not going to be like your significant other or like your other, I don't even know if it has to be significant. What role does the best friend play now? Like you got it.
It adds some level of confidence. It adds some level of confidence, and it could give you perspective that you can't get from men.
Like insider trading.
It gives you a woman's perspective, or not just relationships, just on life. Women have a different outlook on life than men do. So you might need a woman's perspective on things. But that's why you get married too. Or that's why you have a relationship. That's why you're in a relationship that is certain. I don't know if you should just be seeking women's
counsel
about your personal life all the time. Like I said, I mean, that may be something that you want to talk to your significant other about.
True. In fact, you probably should. Right? Because the minute they find out that you're talking to another female about it, good luck, my boy. What?
Oh, yeah. He's not wrong. You're wrong. Man. I think you can. I don't want to be an extremist. You can have women friends. Men can have women friends, I think, and not cross the line. Women can have men friends and not cross the line. But the level of friendship, I think that's when it gets awkward.
That's it.
Like I said, I probably have at least 500 friends. Because I don't consider somebody an associate. If I fuck with you, you haven't done anything bad to me. You're a friend of mine. So I have a lot of friends I went to college with, friends that are from my neighborhood, friends that I grew up with, friends that I just met recently. Like, if I fuck with somebody, I'm gonna call them a friend. Like, you know what I mean? They might not be my best friend. They might not be a friend that I fully trust with my entire life, but they're still a friend until they do something to be an enemy. But I don't have a close relationship with every single friend.
That's fair. Nah, that part of it is fair. Like, you could have friends. The level of it is where it gets tricky. I'm with you on that. I think there's great credence to that.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all letting me crash tonight, man. I appreciate that. Ian, my brother, I appreciate you, man. Get well. I hope I served the platform well. You know, shout out to the city. Yeah, man, this is fun, man. We always do this, but this is fun.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the dirty side, man. How'd you feel, man? Do you feel like you played it safe enough?
I think I was transparent enough. I know they're gonna call me a love bomb or something like that. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, man, I'm all for all that, man. Like, I don't take things too serious. But hopefully somebody heard something that can inspire them, or you know, it changed their thought on how they were looking at something. That's all we're here for, that to help shape perspective and change narrative, man.
Are you comfortable on this side of?
Yeah, I'm comfortable everywhere I go, man. You know, at some point, I'm usually the referee when this show is on. So I'm like texting, and people don't see that part. I'm like, yo, easy. Oh, hit, like, can't say that. Oh, we got. So to have no referee now is kind of interesting. But no, I'm good, man. You know, I'm good.
You gotta embrace the controversy. That's one thing I learned early on. You gotta embrace the controversy.
Now, you love it. You love it.
It's one of these things.
You just love it though. Like, I don't, I don't love it. Like, I'm so non-controversial. Like, when people mention my name, they never hear me say anything, because I'm like, yo, bro. Number one, I'm listening to somebody. Usually, it's somebody will send me, but I'm like, how can somebody who's never met me or doesn't know me have an opinion that is so far out? And they're so passionate about it. It's like the most interesting thing. And then I thought to myself, like, yo, imagine that. Like, out of all the things a person could be talking about in life, they're talking about you. Like, you should really be humbled by that. So I'm humbled by it, though.
Yeah, embrace it. Embrace the controversy. But it's not for everybody. The controversial route is not for everybody. But I do realize, and I even got this from 19 Keys. He mentioned it. Like, sometimes, like, like, okay, I'm gonna pull on a string. Or if we go to the breakfast club, like, I know there's certain points that I know I'm gonna say.
Oh, I know.
That's gonna, have some level of virability. But if for content creators, for you guys out there that's listening, if you're interested in that, I think that is something to consider, because it's not done randomly. You got to think, okay, what's going to have a strong emotional pull on people? What's going to be controversial? What's going to be debatable? How can I raise my voice and still not get out of control? And like, it's a whole emotional play that
I think people discount that when it comes to you, to be honest. I think they think you just say these things randomly, and like, you want to like just get something off your chest, and they miss the fact that it's very calculated. It is very well thought out, and the reaction that people give is kind of like what you wanted anyway. And so there's a method to it, right? Like, I think, in all fairness, that's what makes this dynamic so cool, is because, like, you get to do that and I get to do this. You know what I mean? Like, some people were like, yo, how does it work? I'm like, yo, he gets to be great at that, and I get to go be great at something else. I don't want to be great at what he's great at. What's the point? I think Humble told us that, right? Like, he's like, if two people agree all the time, what's the point of them being together? Right? So, like, don't be great. I'll be great over here, and let's go win.
If two people are good at the same thing, then you don't need two excellent rebounders on. I mean, you can't hard, but it would be better to have an excellent rebounder than an excellent shooter.
Yeah.
Excellent passer and an excellent defender. You get everybody on the team that does the same exact thing.
Exactly.
It's not going to work, because it's one-dimensional team.
That's what he said. Like, if two people are doing the same thing, one's not needed. All right. So add that to your business. Go be great at something.
Well, yeah. Oh, and also prayers up to the brothers Chris Senegal. Just on Instagram that his son passed away.
Oh man.
So, he was battling leukemia for a couple of years. So he put it on Instagram today that his son passed away. So, thoughts and prayers to the Senegal family, somebody that we met early on our journey and, always been a good dude to me. We in Houston and, somebody that's just been doing this thing in real estate for a long time. But definitely unfortunate situation for sure whenever a parent buried their child, especially, a young child, so that's an unfortunate situation. So never take life for granted. We don't know if tomorrow is promised or not, but definitely major condolences, thoughts and prayers to Chris Senegal and his family.
Yeah, prayers up. That's super unfortunate.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Tomorrow, 6:00, Charlamagne the God interview with Earn Your Leisure. Check that out. That's going to be dope. EYL University, tap into the app. If you want EYL University, tap into the app. There's a lot of plays that's been intraday, a lot of movement that's been happening, conversations that's been happening. Troy's options class is coming up in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Get ready for that. Join the regional clubs. We will have a new meetup soon that I think we will be announcing.
Yeah, we announced it.
Oh, Miami.
Yep.
Miami. So if you're not in EYL University, man, we do regional groups. We do the options call. We got the investment club. We got all of that, man. Like it's the community itself is something that's just really, really, really impeccable as far as like having that, brother, sisterhood as far as learning. So tap in, UYUniversity.com. Red Panda, shout out to the Red Panda family.
Yeah, if Ian made you money, put yes in chat.
Make sure you tap in, IanInvest.com.
Yep.
Telegram, if you're in Red Panda, check Telegram for the discount code for InvestFest. Go to InvestFest.com. This year, InvestFest, man, we cooking up.
Oh, we cooking.
VIP night, black tie affair. We got a couple other things that we working on. Legendary as always. August 7th through August 9th in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
Georgia World Congress Center. Get your tickets, get your hotel, because the hotel block will sell out. It's limited rooms. So if you want to stay at the actual venue, because this hotel where the actual convention center is, make sure you don't play games. But you book your ticket and get the hotel and then vendors, of course. Get your vendor booths. Location is everything, just like real estate. So don't play yourself. Don't wait till, the day before to try to get a booth, man. Like get your booth, secure your booth, get your 20 by 20 booth, man. Spend some money, man. If you can't invest in your business is not going to invest in you, man. 20 by 20, get your 20 by 20. You seen Smitty the GOAT last year. He won the best booth, Miss Business Vendor Marketplace Best Booth Award. Like these booths has been taken serious for a long time. This goes back to the days of Him 500 and Neo and all of them. Like, the booth wars have been a thing at InvestFest forever. Miss Business, legendary booth performance, what she's been able to do. So, man, I can't knock the hustle. If the only thing you can do is just, get the tablecloth, okay. But even if you got a 10 by 10, how can you make your booth better? How can you make your business stand out? Think about it. You got 6 months to figure this thing out, man. There's 25,000 people in attendance. How can you sell your product? How can you sell your services? How can you make money? Like that is the key. It's not about us. It's about you guys. Vendors have made a tremendous amount of money, but it only works if you work.
That's a fact. Hard work only work if you work, man. That's a fact. It's going to be a legendary year. I know people are anticipating it. What we are building this year, I mean, every year you try to challenge yourself to be better. I think this year we might have nailed it, man. From VIP night to what we're planning for the entire weekend with the programming. Yeah, man, it's going to be eventful. I'm excited about it. And it's early in the year this year. It's like, all right, we got to move and shake a little faster. So, like, that intensifies it. It's dope. It's part of it. So the journey is going to be dope.
It's going to be one of the ones. Shout out to Magic Johnson. He currently holds the spot as the best keynote, I think, in my opinion.
That's what you're going with?
Yeah, Magic holds that spot currently.
Yeah, I probably got to give it to him. I almost cried up there, which is crazy.
Early. Magic number 1 for me. 50 Cent number 2 for me. It's a tie at number 3 between Tyler Perry and Diddy. Look, Hate it or love it.
Ooh.
And he set the tone. Hate it or love it. Hate it or love it. That was a
50 at 2.
Yeah.
Are we counting Rich Paul?
out. Nah, I mean, it was a panel. It was a panel, so it was a little different.
I mean, if we on the stage, then that's, you know what I mean?
It's up there. Rich was up there. Rich was legendary, for sure.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey was legendary.
Steve Harvey was legendary.
Steve Harvey was legendary.
Tyler Perry, I think, is probably my number 2, just because of the message he said and the moment he said it was like, yeah, we needed to hear that. I definitely think we needed to hear that. That's right there.
There's some magical moments.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of it. You get to make more. God willing, you get to make more.
That's a fact. That's a fact. All right, y'all. It's been real. Check out tomorrow.